to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. I mean, it might not be your birthday, but it could be your birthday. And actually, it is my beloved's birthday. So they are in Melbourne, and I haven't seen them since March. My beloved Victorian Valentine V down in Victoria, sending some happy birthday love for the beginning of this live video. So hello, welcome to Monday Musings with Luna. I've just got off the phone with a client of mine, a brand new client that's started working with me. I don't much like the word client, by the way. It feels such an impersonal experience, whereas the people who journey with me, well, like, we're travelers. I more feel like that I'm a guide, and I'm the travel guide. They are the journeyer, and I show them the way, the way that I know how, and I help them to discover themselves. Journeyer, that's the word that I'm going to use. So there's this thing that very often happens, and I notice it particularly in women and people who have lived as women in their life, that we apologize. We say sorry all the time. And if you're listening, if you're watching, please give me a shout out. If you're watching live, put a heart, put a comment, something along those lines. If you are watching or listening after this point, please leave a comment. Do you apologize too much? Are you constantly saying sorry for just existing? Like for really innocuous things that don't even matter. So when you bump into someone, you'll say, excuse me. You'll say sorry, right? Instead of excuse me, you'll say sorry, which all seems a bit reasonable, but I want you to notice how often you say sorry in your life. So like if you're on the phone and someone knocks at the door, you say, oh, sorry, I just need to get that. And you leave and you go get that, and you come back and go, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. Oh gosh, I'm really sorry to put you out. We say sorry so very often in our lives that we're not even aware that we're saying it. The reality is that when we're saying sorry as constantly as we are, and if you don't know if you are, listen to yourself. Pay a bit more attention to how often you are saying sorry in your life. Because it's likely that you're just saying it here, there, and everywhere. You're apologizing for not having the right bags at the supermarket. You're apologizing for taking too long to serve a customer. You are apologizing all the time for people for doing the most crazy innocuous things. We are just apologizing. And what we're apologizing for, and this is, as I say, particularly for women and women who have lived as women, people who identify as women, we have been taught from such a young age to excuse ourselves. That if we take up space, that if we take up room in the world, then we ought to apologize for that. That in some kind of way we need to yes, be sorry for existing. That if we're too loud, if we're too obnoxious, how very often in your life, particularly as a woman, have you been told that you're too much? You're too loud, you're too vocal, you're too outspoken, you're too boisterous, you're too noisy, you're too this, you're too that. We have been systemically and conditionally programmed from a very young age to be small, to be hidden. And it's no wonder that as women, we actually get told that our bodies need to be small as well. Not just our beings. We get told that our bodies need to be small and that we in general need to be small. Shh, hide. So over so many generations, we have been taught to apologize for just simply existing. Apologize for showing up. Apologizing for things that do not deserve an apology for. You do not need to apologize if you're on the phone and somebody knocks on your door. There is no reason to apologize. I had a moment last week. I was doing a bit of house sitting for a relative of mine, and there were some workmen coming and going, which I didn't know was going to happen. So I still had my life to live. I was still, talking with my fellow journeyers, in other words, my clients, and I had this moment whereby I was in the middle of working with somebody. I was on the phone and this workman arrived and was trying to get my attention and was like waving at me to try to get my attention. And in the past, what I would have done was felt like I needed to please the person. I would have felt like it was rude if I didn't pay that person attention. Then all of a sudden there's a man in front of me and he needs my attention. So I would have stopped what I was doing, apologized to him for not being available, and then I would have apologized to my client for interrupting them, right? I would have apologized all round, whereas I'd done nothing wrong. The person I had told that I was with clients and that I was not available. And yet this person decided that they were more important and their energy was more important, so they tried to get my attention. And so instead of, in the past, what I would have done to be able to placate or please the person, I would have been like, oh, excuse me, I'm on the phone, I can't take a call. Instead, what I did was I just looked at them, probably quite severely, to be honest, and shook my head and I just said no, and I walked away, and I put myself like in literally the corner of a room and put my, like I have headphones on, and I just did not pay attention to the person. Now, was that rude? Was that obnoxious of me to be rude to this person who was demanding my attention? Well, you know what? The old me would have said yes. Oh, you could have just been polite, Luna. But the reality is that if I'm polite to that person who's demanding my attention when I've already advised them that I'm not available, then I'm doing a disservice to me and I'm doing disservice to the person on the phone. So instead of me apologizing to anybody, I didn't need to apologize to my client, I didn't need to apologize to me, because I did what was right for me in that moment. Was it rude for the workman? Perhaps. Does it matter in that moment? No. Because I do not need to apologize for existing. I do not need to apologize for taking up space, and I do not need to apologize. We do not need to apologize for doing what's right for us in that moment. I did what's right for me and what's right for my client. When that man came back a little while later and I wasn't on the phone, I very consciously and deliberately had to stop myself from apologizing. I had done nothing wrong. We need to stop apologizing when we haven't done anything wrong. The more that we do that, we're apologizing for our existence. We're apologizing for setting boundaries. We're apologizing for being ourselves, and that's not okay. Because the more that we apologize for being ourselves, the more we diminish ourselves and the less room we want to take up in the world. So for me, instead, I very consciously knew that my self probably wanted to come forward and apologize to the person. Instead, what I did, and this is what I want you to do instead of apologizing all the time, when he came back into the space, what I said to him, I said, thank you very much for the time and space that you gave me earlier. I was in the middle of a client and that's exactly what I needed. Thank you very much. I didn't apologize for the stern look. I didn't apologize for being rude. I didn't apologize for me setting my damn boundary. It's okay for me to set my boundary and I do not need to apologize for it. Because had I apologized for it, I minimized the experience. Now all of a sudden I've done something wrong. It's not true. When you've done something wrong, when you've been a dick, when you've done something that is deserving of an apology, apologize. Suck it up. Get over yourself. Definitely apologize when you've done something wrong. But I want you to start noticing that most times that you apologize, you have not done anything wrong. Thank people instead. If you're on a phone call, like it just happened today with my client, if you're on a phone call and the post person arrives, someone knocks on your door and you didn't know that it was going to happen, rather than saying, sorry, someone's at the door, well, that's not your fault. You didn't do anything wrong with that. Say, excuse me, someone's at the door. Thank you for your patience while I go and answer it. Or do you mind while I go and do this? And so go to the door, come back, and then rather than apologizing again, oh, I'm so sorry, someone was just at the door. You didn't do anything wrong. Just say thank you very much for your understanding and patience that things happen. Less sorries, more thank yous. Appreciate people for understanding. Appreciate and give gratitude for people for giving you the patience or the space or the time or just the understanding. It's perfectly reasonable. Stop saying thank you so much. It is just diminishing you. And you deserve to be the big, beautiful, incredible self that you are. This is the most important thing. Leave a comment below. Let me know, do you apologize too much? Would you like to apologize less? What are some of your live examples? Let me know. You have a situation. I will help role play it out with you. Let me know what your examples are in the comments, and I will definitely get back to you and let you know how maybe you can reword it so that you apologize less and give gratitude more. Thank you very much, my beautiful people. It is a pleasure to be here with you on Monday morning. And yeah, big love to you. Mwah.